In terms of objectification, I've already covered the notion that the people who currently engage, the speaker and proposition included, don't feel themselves being objectified because they make an individuated decision where they decide to engage with this action, and you can't be objectified if you engage with an action. Like, you automatically assume all of the problems of your action when you engage with it. That's like philosophy 101. Congratulations, first years, you can now pass your tutorial. But some of the present, and I should also point out that I love boobs and I love porn. And you're right, that this isn't porn. This just is not pornography. This is titillation, for want of a better phrase. Also, best phrase ever to use in a page 3 debate, it's titillation. Sorry, that was really bad. But what it is it's similar to porn in that it's a presentation of sexuality. And it's a presentation of sexuality that's different to the other ways that we find presentations of sexuality objectionable. So we talk about, like, actresses who present themselves sexually in order to sell movies. We talk about pop stars who present themselves sexually in order to present CDs. We talk about, I don't know, even like really innocuous careers like flight attendants. Like, there's no way that a skirt that tight is going to be a good idea in an emergency landing, but they still wear them. Despite their age, if you're on an Irish airline, never take airlines. But like, so we have this kind of an attitude, lingerie models in general, everybody. And like, you don't have this problem on the other side, right? You first of all don't have page 3 boys, because that would probably, definitely result in a lawsuit against the Murdoch Corporation. They would have to be page 3 men. That's probably offensive to women. But you also, like, you have another aim to those professions. Like, the aim of the profession of a flight attendant is to like, I don't know, attend to your flight. Being Irish, I only ever take the famine ship when I go forward. Like, there is always something else that these people are trying to sell. My difficulty with page 3, and in particular the way page 3 is presented in the Sun, or actually like all of the tablets, I'll damn them all with the same brush. This is just the presentation of sexuality as a commodity. It's something to entice you to purchase. So, like, we can look at a nude painting by Michelangelo on the roof of the Sistine Chapel and say, yeah, that's pretty cool. There's a naked woman up there. We can, like, bring it to a more realistic. We can look at, like, no, it is really beautiful. Nothing. Well, it's a little bit crumbly, but so am I when I take my clothes off. Sorry, Anthony, I'm not at all, I promise. I washed this morning, and I have a lotion. But like, making it a little bit better, right? Because I know that we're going to talk about the difference between art and sexualization. You can look at porn on the internet. Like, you can look at pictures which are very similar to pictures which feature on page 3 on websites like MetArt, where they engage in erotic photography rather than, here is my vagina, would you like to see my vagina? Yes, this is a vagina. You can look at movies by porn producers like Sasha Grey who have empowered themselves while making what feminists like me call objectionable pornography, where they engage in rape simulations or they engage in rough or risky sex, right? Also, highest paid female porn actress, her production studio is amazing and her videos are quite nice. I'm not really a true feminist. But like, you can look at those things where they're just presented as sexuality or sexualization. I don't have any problem with a page 3 website, which I think is a spiffing idea. I don't have any problem with women who engage with their sexuality in terms of like empowerment. I even don't have a problem with some of those women who engage with sexuality in terms of a method to generate income for themselves, right? Because, like, at the end of the day, all of our jobs are about us using our body or our faculties in whatever way, and some people, like, engage with them in a proper way, like you do. Some people engage with them in completely a different way, and that's fine as well. Like, it's individuated choice. Do whatever you want with yourself. It's fine by me. Just don't do it like this. Time is up. I've still got a whole point. Too many potato jokes. So my difficulty here is some jobs engage with sexuality in a proper way, and some jobs don't. And I don't think that what I'm going to clarify or classify as like being a glorified advertisement for a paper doesn't engage with your sexuality in a way that you can find empowering or that society can find empowering on your behalf. In terms of sexualization, I'll rip through this one pretty quickly because it's pretty basic. Like, page 3 isn't porn. I've already said that a number of times, but what page 3 is it's the start of the acceptance of hypersexuality in society. Like, when we can't buy some butter unless the ad features a really sexy cow going, moo. You know that society is, excuse the unparliamentary language, fecked. By commoditizing sexuality in this way, you lead to like an attraction expectation kind of a model where we expect everything to be this sexualized. Like if our newspapers have pictures of topless girls in them, then like why can't our butter have pictures of topless girls on it rather than in it? Because that would be really freaky. Toast, ooh, boobs. So there's an attraction expectation element that leads into that kind of society. There's also an attraction expectation limit that leads into your engagement with society, either sexualized or non-sexualized. So you see like 14-year-old girls who say they want to be a topless model. You see 14-year-old girls who go to youth club discos in Ireland with their thong underwear around their wrists to show their openness for public sex, and that doesn't tie in to what PETA does. Like it doesn't, right? And it's crass and it's venal for someone to tell you that it does. But what page 3 does is it leads to an attitude in society that sexuality can be used in this way, and that sexuality is normalized in this way, when it's presented in ways that don't just address sexuality or don't just engage or address your own engagement with sexuality, when it's kind of taken away from you and given a base element. Because like your sexuality shouldn't be treated like that. Your sexuality is one of the most important parts of you. Getting a little bit weepy and a little bit kind of ranty about it. Like you can't just say to someone, you know what, you now have boobs, you should wear low-cut tops and take out your boobs. Because 90% of people won't engage with that. Some people will want to do that themselves, but there's some people who feel pressured because of the expectations of society and the expectations that are placed upon them to engage in society in a way that they don't feel comfortable with. I can't fully blame page 3 for that. I never would attempt to fully blame page 3 for that. But page 3 is part of that problem. And page 3 is like the thin end of that wedge, which leads to a situation where we have the highest rate of teen pregnancies. We have like 14-year-old girls dressing inappropriately, 14-year-old guys expecting inappropriate action. And if it's that bad at 14, wait until they get to college. Oh wait, we all already have. We're all sluts, including me. I'm not. I'm in a committed foursome. With myself, a 6-pack and 2 donuts. So what have I told you? It was a slow burn. Non-sexually. So what have I told you? I've talked in particular about the sun and why the sun's attitude and the red top attitude to this kind of sexualization is objectionable. Looking at the way that it's presented, the way that it's marketed, the way that they've engaged with this from the very foundation of the idea in the magazine, and in particular bringing it up to date with the notion of like this anti-Claire Short campaign. Like no woman deserves that kind of treatment, be she like the most beautiful woman in the world or like the female incarnation of Jabba the Hutt. Not saying that you are, Kevin. Not at all. I've talked about objectification and spoken about how objectification is a bad idea, and I've talked about sexualization really briefly. I hope that you will support people who engage with this kind of activity in their own time or in a way that doesn't impact on other people, because I honestly believe in the right of everybody to take off their clothes whenever they want or to engage in their sexuality in whatever way they want. What I have a problem with is the notion that society can dictate to you what your sexuality can be or how your sexuality should be expressed. And unfortunately, as much as I can see the great work that some people who engage, like PETA, have done with their sexuality and engaged with society and have done huge amounts of work for Help the Heroes and everything that's attendant with that, I still think that there's a problem there, and page 3 is part of the problem. Thank you.